Hello, my name is Milton Randall, and I'd like to introduce you to hand drumming. In 1995, I had an amazing opportunity in that I was given a scholarship to go to Africa and study with one of the great master drummers from the country Ghana. And what intrigued me more than anything else was when I discovered that drums can talk, a complete spoken language. And the way it basically works is, the way the drum language communicates is they copy the patterns of the language in the area. I lived with the Awe people, so the drums spoke Awe. Today, I'm speaking English. So today the drums will speak English. And just to show you how easy the drums can communicate, if I just play this pattern, you'd recognize it as Jingle Bells. Now, as silly as it might be using a Christmas song to show you how language works, think about it. We just communicated something so detailed. The bells go in the back of a horse, jingles are horse runs, something about a one-horse open sleigh laughing all the way. A lot of information. All you did was recognize a very simple pattern. Basically how language works. Memorize a pattern, agree to the meaning of the pattern, you created a language. In Africa, they don't use jingle bells to communicate, but what they do is very clever. They copy the patterns and the articulations of the language in the area. As I said, I lived with the Awe people, so the drums spoke Awe. Today I'm speaking English, so today the drums will speak English. And there's one pattern that they use through most of Africa, and they also use all through Latin America. They use it in rock and roll, jazz. It's called the universal break, and is probably the most important pattern in modern music as well as African and Latin culture. It sounds like this. And whenever people hear that in villages all through Africa, they'll stop. Everyone freezes, they look and they listen, because that pattern literally means stop what you're doing, look and listen, I have a message. And they always play that message before they send they always play that pattern before they send messages. And it is the greatest classroom management tool I've ever discovered. I teach classes of 150 kids, and they know when they hear the universal break, they hit the drum one time, and they're to lean forward and look at me and listen to the buzzing sound of the lights. And I can control and classroom manage very large groups with this one pattern. Let's repeat these words. This is the.
This is the.
This is the universe.
This is the universe.
This is the universal break.
This is the universal break.
I'm going to say the universal break, and please respond with one. This is a universal break. 1. And no 1, 2. This is a universal break. 1, 2. Now I'm going to play the universal break. Please respond with one hitting your drum as you say the number. 1. 1, 2. Let's go to 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because there's only myself and my friend Elliot Polsky, great drummer from Vancouver. He's the manager at Empire Music. I'm going to have to play some parts with my feet, so to give a groove. So I'm going to play the universal break one more time, and with laying a groove as we do this. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 with the universal break. The next pattern is the first 3 notes of probably 80% of the patterns out there. And I sort of borrowed this from a Michael Jackson tune. Please repeat these words. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is it. Ready? Go. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is it. Speak it on the drum. Go. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is it. And I'm going to go back to my kit, and we're going to do it with a groove. So we're going to do universal break 1, 2, 3, 4, followed by the 4 this is it's. Good. So the next pattern is, I'll stay back here, we're going to play universal break high, followed by universal break low. Let's start with high, and I'll break it up so that you can play the universal break. So this is the, ready, go. This is the, here's the tricky part. This is the universe, ready, go. This is the universe. And one more. This is the universal break. Go. This is the universal break. I'll play the universal break high, universal break low, followed by 4 hits. This is the universal break. This is the universal break. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready? Go. This is the universal break. This is the universal break. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything we've done so far. So you're getting a little introduction for a possible performance. And what really holds, what's the glue that holds us together when we improvise? It's a melody. If you listen to a jazz band and the bass player goes off in a solo, and it, sometimes you can't even hear where the beat is, or a drummer goes off because it gets so syncopated, and all of a sudden, bang, the band comes in right on the money. How do they do that? Well, they're singing the melody in their head. So here's a rhythmic melody that works great for learning improvisation and soloing techniques. Please repeat these words. When you meet someone, you say hello. When you meet someone, you say hello. Ready? Voices only. Go. When you meet someone, you say hello. When you meet someone, you say hello. If I speak it in the drum, it sounds like this. When you meet someone, you say hello. When you meet someone, you say hello. Let's play it together. Ready? Go. When you meet someone, you say hello. When you meet someone, you say hello. Part 2 sounds like this. When you meet someone, and when you meet someone. Voices only. Go. When you meet someone, and when you meet someone. Let's speak it on the drum. Go. When you meet someone, and when you meet someone. I'll play parts 1 and 2 connected. Wait for the word go before you join me. When you meet someone, you say hello. When you meet someone, you say hello. When you meet someone, and when you meet someone. You ready? Go. When you meet someone, you say hello. When you meet someone, you say hello. When you meet someone, and when you meet someone. Now this last part of this groove that I heard is the name of Afro Galliano, brought to us by a man named David Sow from Senegal. And it was an interesting, when I was in the village of Kopiyi in Ghana, I learned a piece called Gahu. And we were invited to a ceremony in another village. I went to the neighboring village, and they were playing and dancing and singing. And I said to the villager beside me from the other village, and I said, wow, that's nice music. What do they call that? He said, oh, that's Gahu. I said, well, how can that be Gahu? I just learned it in Kopiyi, and this is different. He said, of course it's different. We do it authentically. Every village does it their own authentic way. I says, you mean authenticity here in Ghana is doing it your own way? He says, of course it is. We're very creative people. We don't have to copy others. And anytime we perform, people from a distance know who we are by the way we play things. So the concept of authenticity is doing it your own personal, authentic way. So we're going to do our own personal, authentic way, and the kids enjoy this part of it. And I tell the kids, on the last part of this pattern, you have a mission. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to give your teachers something very special. This is why teachers became teachers. Your mission is to give your teachers something called a headache. That's why teachers became teachers. I think that's right. Get confused sometimes. I think that's right. Anyway, so on the last part isn't really a word. You're working out at the gym. It's a heavy weight and ooh. So you're going to give me a powerful ooh. I'll count to 4 and give me a ooh. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh. And the words before that, which you will yell to your teachers, give them that beautiful thing called a headache. It sounds like this. Yabba dabba 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 do. Are you ready? Go. Yabba dabba 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 do. And this is, the kids laugh and they have a lot of fun with that part. To play the drum, we just go yabba dabba 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 do. Are you ready? Go. Yabba dabba 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 do. The whole pattern sounds like this. When you meet someone, you say hello. When you meet someone, you say hello. When you meet someone, and when you meet someone, yabba dabba 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 do. Join me. go. Sorry, I gotta do that one more time. Ready? Go. When you meet someone, you say hello. When you meet someone, you say hello. When you meet someone, and when you meet someone, yabba dabba 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 do. Go. When you meet someone, yabba dabba 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 do. So just before we do everything we've done, I just want to address very quick technique. To play your bass tone, you slightly cup your hand, play a little bit off in the center, and you get a rich, dark bass tone. Don't hit it hard. The harder you hit, sometimes the less sound you get. So that's your bass tone. Let's just do quarters and eighth notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So the second articulation I'll call the tone. There's many different terminologies. What are some of the terminologies, Elliot, that you've heard? Go, pa.
Go, pa, gun.
So which one would you normally call?
The open tone, go.
You would call that a go.
I would call it go.
So I'm used to calling it just tone. So some people will call it go. Depends who you're playing with. So the go or the tone, you form a rooftop. You keep your thumbs high. Why keep your thumbs high? Oh, you will find out. If you drop your thumb and whack your thumb right there, really hurts. You keep your thumbs high and elbows high. With your elbows high, you get lots of finger flesh striking of the drum at the same time. Now I'm going to aim at that joint, but because my elbows are high, it's actually going to go more flush than actual joint. And so we'll do quarters and eighths again. 1, 2, ready, go. I'm going to get to the third articulation a little bit later. So let's do everything we've done so far, and using the bass and the go, or what I would call it, the tone. So we're building a performance arrangement. So these are called tubolo drums, and they're fabulous drums. And but not everybody can afford a drum of this quality. And to me, they're my favorite drum. But when you're teaching the classes, you can put together buckets, put a bit of duct tape on, get some drumsticks, wrap your sticks with duct tape, and you can run a class with just bucket drumming. Or you can play on the floor. A lot of the stuff, because it's rhythm, they're not going to learn technique, but they will learn the rhythms. You don't have to have an expensive drum, and there are cheaper drums. But I mean, these are kind of the elite of what's out there. You could probably put together a classroom set for whatever the price of a set of drumsticks are, And if your kids can donate some ice cream pails, and you've got your classroom set. Let's do one more pattern, and then we want to do teach you some improvisation techniques. There's something that many of you have heard of called clave, and there's a 3-note clave and many variations of 5-note clave. 3-note clave is, but you've heard that many times. Can you clap it for me, Elliot? So, 3-note clave. So I'm going to give you a pattern that works very well with 3-note clave, and then I'll give you the other variation of this that works with 5-note clave. So please repeat these words. Aramile, aramile, aramile. Ready? Go. Aramile, 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 aramile. So this is a Nigerian song, and it means my whole self as well. And when they say my whole self, they mean body, mind, and spirit. And it's a reminder song to take good care of our bodies, minds, and spirits for a happy life. So I'm going to start it, and Elliot's going to clap the 3-note clave underneath it. So I'll give you the universal break first. So I just up the speed just to catch your attention on that. So on the break. So that's the 3-note clave. To go to a 5-note clave, you just add the words oh yeah yeah. So it's like this. Oh yeah yeah. Or did you want to clap the 5-note clave for me?
Yep.
Go ahead. You've heard that before. Shape, hair, cut, 3 bits. Shape, hair, cut, 3 bits. And you've heard that all through your life.
Everywhere.
And this 5-note clave is what a lot of modern music is built on. Probably, what percentage would you think of the rock and roll out there? 60%, 70%?
At least 60, 78%.
Yeah. So it's, and of course Latin is, the roots of Latin is clave. There are different variations of clave. This is the song clave, and it's probably the most used. So let's do aramile with song clave.
Okay.
So to come in and out, I always use the universal break, because that's how they do it in Africa, in Latin America. They start and end their songs with the universal break. And that's what makes that pattern so important. They can play for 12, 14 hours straight, and they do, simply by signaling in and out. And now we're going to do something with a little bit of a stress to it. He's going to clap the 5-note clave, and I am going to do 3 3-note clave patterns. I'm sorry, 2 3-note clave patterns and 1 5-note. So you have this kind of a stress and release, stress release. Okay?
Okay.
So actually, let's sing it first twice, and then come in. So we're going to sing a aramile.
Okay.
3 aramiles, 1 oh yeah yeah. Ready? Aramile, 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 oh yeah yeah. Aramile, 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 oh yeah yeah. Go! kind of out, then I'm in, I'm out, and I'm in. And that stress and release is kind of what a lot of this music is about. Let's play everything we've done so far. Now I know I'm really speeding through this, but I will have an entire book, and I will have that on the Empire Music website, which you can download it, and I will have that available. And I just don't have it ready at this point. We're in August right now. We don't have it ready, but we will have it available for you. Plus, I'll have written materials of everything that we've done. Let's do everything. Can we go a little faster?
Set the speed.
So in my workshops when I have dancers, because a Romile is too fast to sing at a dance speed and it's too slow to dance to, I do reset the tempo. So I go, Aramile, 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 oh yeah, yeah. So I have to reset the tempo, so I may do that. Catch it. Again, he hasn't rehearsed with me before. He's catching everything. Yay, Elliot, nice job. The slap. To play the slap, so the tone, our elbows are high, and we're forming our V, and we're kind of trying to get a lot of flesh. For the slap, we lower our elbow to the point where you're catching it right here, or in the Cuban style, which you're more familiar with, you come back a little bit. I find, yeah, kind of right in this spot right here. The Africans play up in this area. And you can get more speed up here, but you get it's much easier to get a slap starting here because you have more leverage. And what happens is you just play this and your fingers are so relaxed, they just kind of lurch forward, and you play the slap with your fingertips. So it's kind of like spaghetti hands, and your fingertips just lurch forward. But you hit this part of your hand first and let your fingers just fall forward. Now here's a dangerous thing to tell people because they exaggerate. If you exaggerate it, it doesn't work. Something a very fine drummer here in Vancouver named Sal Ferrer showed me. If you take your finger when you're doing a slap and slide it halfway up your finger, so this index finger is halfway up the side of your finger, you get a really nice clean slap. Don't know why it works, but he showed me that and it improved my slap immediately. So that's, let me just review that. Your slap, you lower your elbow, sort of as low as you can to the drum, so that the momentum carries your fingertips forward, and you get that bright sound. And if you raise your index finger, like not much, I'm going to say, what would that be? A millimeter? 2 millimeters?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
just a little bit, you get a more powerful slap. So if I was to do a ramile and go, oh yeah. So let's try this, just bass, 2 slap, slap. Ready, go. So the pattern might go like this. So let's practice tone to slap, because this is a little bit harder. So you're going to go quarter notes. We're going to do, let's do 8 quarter notes. And we're going to drop down and do 8 quarter note slaps. So, sorry, let me repeat that in a better way. 8 tones on quarter notes, 8 slaps on quarter notes. Then we'll do 8th notes with a tone of 2 measures, and then come back and do 2 measures of slaps. So it's going to be like this. Go. 1. Slap. Okay, so there are your 3 main articulations that you use in most of your drumming. Lots of variations on these, because you got your slap, you got your all different variations of levels of muffling and sharpness. Could we do this arrangement one more time, just to help them hear it again? And then we're going to do some soloing technique. And whenever possible, mix up your tones and slaps. So if you want to go, maybe every second time, mix it up, and you can do it whatever way you want it, and you can create your own sound that way. Ready? If we run, when you meet someone, you say hello. When you meet someone, you say hello. When you meet someone, and when you meet someone. yabba dabba 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 do. If you run that in your head as you're soloing, you're going to play with lots of space between the notes. The most important thing I would say in music, in drumming, is there anything more important than space between the notes?
Absolutely important.
That is a drummer's job. You create space between the notes. The more silence you have between your notes, the better the feel of the music. And this pattern Afro-Galliano has so much space built into it that you can really do a lot with it, with soloing. And if you get the kids running this in the head as they do solos, they come up with some really interesting. So sometimes they get off by a beat or two, but it sounds really cool, you know, and you just kind of help them come back in, and it still creates a good solo. So we're going to do something called trading eights. And if you listen to a jazz ensemble, so everybody's taking the solo now, it's the drummer's turn, but maybe he doesn't want to do a full 32 measure solo. So what they will do is, if it's an AAB form song, so 2 verses, chorus and verse, well, maybe the sax player takes an 8 measure solo. On the second A, the drummer will take an 8 measure solo. Then in the B section, maybe the piano takes an 8 measure solo, then it goes back to the drummer. And they keep spinning the form of this AABA form, if that's the form of the song, and doing 8 measure solos. And generally, they should be running the melody of the song in their head as they're playing. So, we're going to run Afro-Galliano through our heads when we solo. And maybe I can just give you an example. I'm not going to stray very far from Afro-Galliano. And the first time that you play this with your kids, what I often do is we just have one person playing the pattern to get that nervousness out of them. And after a couple classes of soloing, well, I say, okay guys, now we've created rules, now we're going to start breaking rules. You don't have to stay with the pattern. So do anything you want, but try to sing the song in your head, the melody in your head. So we're going to go to Afro-Gallianos, stop. And we're going to pretend this is Elliot's first time doing this. So he's a kid, and all he's going to do this time is keep Afro-Galliano going. I realize many of you are not drummers, but you could keep, if you have somebody with a fairly steady beat or a click track. Again, the download that I'm going to have available to you it has a click track, a soloing track on that lasts, I think it's about 6 minutes long. So you can run this quite along for trading eights. So, but if you get someone who can just keep the beat, or if you can find a bass drum, you can find these cheap bass drums everywhere, and just keep quarter notes. It takes a little bit of practice, but as you teach the students, you get better every time. Yeah, you might have a hard time to start with, but eventually I find that I improve more teaching than practicing, because I have to go really to the basics, and you're under pressure. So we're going to do 2 Afro-Gallianos, and the ensemble is going to stop, and you get to play your solo. All he's going to do is keep Afro-Galliano going. Okay? Let's play a good... There. So this is an ensemble. away from the melody bit by bit on each solo. And until the point where I'll know that each of them will know that we're singing the same melody, but we're going to try to disguise it each time. So now we're into about maybe day 3 of soloing. So instructing the class, what I would do is maybe teach 1 new pattern a day, and then they go around and they solo, maybe 2 patterns a day, and they go around, the whole class gets to take a solo. If someone doesn't want a solo, just leave it blank. That's fine. And eventually, when it's their turn, a few days later, they will play something. But if you let them, if they're nervous, too nervous to solo, you just let them not solo. They simply, they'll never do it. They'll never take the risk. So we're going to start stretching the soloing out. Yeah. He was kind of going 3 against 4. He was doing all these things, but I was running the melody, he was running the melody, and we didn't get lost. Elliot, do you think you're cool?
I think I'm pretty cool.
He's pretty cool. So I'm going to do 1 high, 2 low, 2 high, 2 low. Do you think that you are cool? Let's play that together, just so they can get it. Ready? Go. Do you think that you are cool? 1 more. I'll use my high and low. Ready? Go. Do you think that you are cool? That's the call. And the answer to the call is, of course, oh yes, I think I'm cool. Do they get any cooler than Elliot? I don't think so. So let's play that together. Let's play the response. Ready? And this is all in the bass. Slightly cupping your hand, just off from center. Ready? Go. Oh yes, I think I'm cool. Let me ask you the question, and you can give me the answer. Do you think that you are cool? Oh yes, I think I'm cool. Do you think that you are cool? Oh yes, I think I'm cool. Do you think that you are cool?
Oh yes, I think I'm cool.
Do you know that you are cool?
Oh yes, I know I'm cool.
And he is. So, call and response. The role of call and response in African and Latin music. What they use this for, it's communication. So you go into a ceremony, and they can last for 10, 12 hours playing without stopping. And they can do it because they can. They have a system of communication. Every call and response pattern tells the performers, okay, we're going to play this beat, we're going to do this dance, we're going to sing this song. So they'll often string a series of call and response patterns together to say, okay, we're going to do this rhythm, we're going to do another call and response for, we're going to do this dance, another call and response for, let's get ready to sing this song. So every call and response pattern is a form of communication. So when your kids get comfortable with all the different call and response patterns that you can make up, they know they know exactly what each call and response pattern means, what you want them to do next. So this one, I might say, well, we're going to play a Romilly again, and dancers, we're going to dance, I don't know, the funky chicken, whatever. Are you ready? Just had to think of something. Do you think that you are cool? Oh yes, we think you're cool. Do you think that you are cool?
Oh yes, I think I'm cool.
Do you think that you are cool?
Oh yes, I think I'm cool.
Do you think that you are cool?
Oh yes, I think I'm cool.
And in African and Latin tradition, I bring us into the groove with the universal break. Which will do a Romilly. Okay? So, let's try it one more time. Do you think that you are cool?
Oh yes, I think I'm cool.
Do you think that you are cool?
Oh yes, I think I'm cool.
Do you think that you are cool?
Oh yes, I think I'm cool.
And he knows that he is cool.
I know I'm cool.
That'll work. No! There you go. And that's basically how the call and response pattern works. Let's do everything. Well, let's do the call and response pattern first with me and the kit so we have a groove going. And then we're going to run everything one more time so that we can get some repetition, because repetition is everything. Are you ready? So we're just going to start with the call and response just to practice that. Do you think that you are cool?
Oh yes, I think I'm cool.
One last thing I want to do because it's so much fun. What do you want to play? Ramile or Meet Someone? We're going to overlap both parts. Your choice. What are you most comfortable with?
Meet someone.
Okay. He's going to play Meet Someone. I'm going to play Ramile. And so I'm sort of playing the clave part, which fits very well with his. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
You can overlap it. You can do so many things with this. You can throw in This Is It over top of this, one of the very first patterns we did. You play the bell. You can play a bell pattern on, this is the universal break. This is a universal break. By adding one note in the bell pattern, and let me just grab the bell. This is a universal break. I'm going to add the word and we've got one of the very standard, I guess this is one of the Cascara patterns. It's also a pattern they use in Africa and Brazil. So, I'm going to play This is a universal break and. Again, let's repeat those words. This is the universal break and. So we're going to do it slow.